Hey people, it's been a while, but welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at the Demoniacal Scarlet martial artist 60k power level, and I'll let you guys know what I think about this release. Okay, so first off, we know this is pretty much a clone of the latest release of, Tamashii Nations. They released a newly made, or whatever you want to call it, newly colored Kaioken Goku some time ago. To have some sort of a re-release kind of way. I mean, it really was a re-release, because if you remember the first time it released, or the second time maybe, the second release of the Kaioken Goku was more of a metallic finish, and the one we got here is of course based on the second or the third release, which was a more matte finished Kaioken Goku, which is more accessible to the general public as well, considering the second release, the glossy one, for some reason on the second-hand market was hugely inflated. So you had to pay a lot of money just to have a basic Kaioken Goku. I believe it was like $60 or up or something like that. And, you could say on the other hand that's not all that expensive, but on the other hand you could kind of find it expensive when the figure was released for like 30 or 35, maybe even $40 maximum, which is quite the inflation. I was lucky when I bought the glossy one, because someone else was selling it on the second-hand market, I believe, on Vinted. Shout out to Vinted. And I paid like $40 for it or something like that, or 30 maybe even. So I got it for retail release, which was fine, and I was pretty happy with it. Recently I sold it. Why? Because I was like, okay, I have the glossy release, but I also wanted to get the matte finish one, because I'm more of a matte finish kind of guy, I guess. Yeah. But I really didn't see any point in having two Kaioken Gokus, and I'm not really the person, to keep two copies of the same figure. I just need the one. I really look at what I need, and what I need usually is just the one type of figure, and I don't need a second release of it unless it's like completely different, of course. But I didn't see a point in having the glossy release and the matte finish one. The other problem, of course, is the matte finish one that Tamashii released was pretty exclusive to the US, so getting it in hand here in Europe was pretty much impossible, unless I wanted to buy it from eBay, and eBay is not really all that, shipping friendly regarding overseas people who want to buy it from overseas. And in all fairness, they can't really blame you can't really blame the sellers for it, because they also just bought it in the US and they want to sell it in the US, and if you want to buy it outside of the US, you have to pay a ton of shipping and income taxes. Income taxes, never mind. I mean, some different kind of tax you have to pay just to get it in hand. And at the end of the day, yes, $30 figure, and eventually pay like $60 on shipping. That's not really something I'd go for. So I was patiently waiting for Demoniacal Fit to just release their copy version of the matte finish one, and here we got it. Okay, so outside of the box, this is pretty much what you're getting. You're getting two different types of heads, two different kinds of hair pieces, and like 3 different kinds of face plates. You get the standard amount of hands. I'm not really sure how much there is, but the minimum amount is what you're getting pretty much. If you have the original release, you're not getting anything different here. What you have on that release is what you get here. I have to say it's the minimum amount, but it gets the general message across whenever you want to pose your figures, of course. And this release of Demoniacal Fit, I mean, I'm a huge fan of what they did. They added a piece to improve your Vegeta 24k power level, the one from Namek. They made an additional part for him, which they really didn't have to do, because if I remember correctly, during this saga Vegeta was very much involved, but you'd expect it to have it on a different kind of figure, not on the Goku one. I will include it, of course, in the second part of the video, what you can see regarding the Vegeta 24k. However, what you're getting here is a really good amount. So let's get into it. Okay, so here we have him in the most neutral position I could think of, right on top of my head. But You know, it looks really great. It looks really great. I hadn't, like I said before, I don't really own a Kaioken Goku besides the glossy one. This is my first one that isn't glossy. And I believe Demoniacal Fit did a pretty good job. Whenever I check other photos or videos online, he seems to be pretty one-to-one with the release of Tamashii Nations. There is a slight difference though. I believe some of the faceplates aren't one-to-one, and of course the logo on the back and on the bottom left part of his gi, they are different in terms of the original release, which could refer to the comment I made earlier in the video regarding you know, in which saga this figure actually takes place, because it is a copy, of course, of the official Saiyan saga one, I believe. Seems to be a pretty accurate release to what Tamashii Nations has released before. So regarding the accessories, like I said before, you have different type of hands. As I show you here, you can see him having the balled up fist that you're used to see from any Dragon Ball characters. And here you can see him use his open palm hand, and here we can see him use the other open palm hands. Also, you can use them for Kamehameha hands, or just like I did here, you can use them to, you know, have him in some kind of martial artist type of pose, as the name implies. And here you can see him use the choppy hands, you know, to deflect ki blast, or, you know, chop you in the neck or something like that. And last but not least, here we have him use the other martial artist type of hands. I try to put it in a dynamic kind of pose. So in terms of face accessories, like I said before, we have like 3 different kind of face plates, and this is the first one, you know, the most neutral looking one, the one where he's just looking right at you. This is the one that I'm actually liking the most, and this is also the one that I said earlier in the video. This seems to be quite off in regards to the official release, because yeah, I don't really have the real one to really show you guys, but the eyes are slightly different. I think I can pull up some original footage of the real one, so you can see the difference. It's ever so slightly. Here we have the other face, plate, and it's looking somewhat to his right. I'm not really a fan of, you know, having it may sound weird, but having eyes set to a different certain angle when you're not able to change the angle. I believe some Amazing Yamaguchi figures allow you to change the way the way the eyes are looking, to which side they are looking. And yeah, of course, Tamashii Nations and of course now the Demoniacal Fit, they don't really support that. I would love to see that in the future, you know, if they innovate on the how you can change the eyes. But for now, these eyes are set to just one angle, and sure, it's nice to have options. I believe if you combine them with the original release of the figure, then I'm sure you could have like him looking at any kind of angle. That's not to say I don't like this, that they approach this. I like the angle. I'm just not a general fan of angle faces. Okay, and lastly, this is the other angled face that we have. You could relate it to a, you know, Kamehameha type of face, or, you know, just a throwing any punch type of face. In any case, it's just a yelling face. It looks good. The decals are applied very, very nicely. The only problem is the same as I said before. It's angled, so I would really have it, you know, looking straight forward, or looking a bit up, I guess, in some figures. But yeah, this is what you're getting, and I have to say, it looks good. It really looks good. It just locks you into a certain angle, which I don't like, but yeah, good looking face. Okay, now some of you might be wondering, does he come with any QC issues? And I have to say, yeah, he does, sadly he does, but you can't really expect a lot from a third-party company approaching a Dragon Ball figure. And that's not to say it's an excuse of any kind, it's just like they are not an officially licensed company, so the quality control really isn't the same. So yeah, the problems I had with my copy is that his thigh swivel is kind of very much tight. So I had to apply some shock oil. Luckily yeah, you can just buy that online. It's not really that expensive and it's really accessible, and it just loosen it up a little bit. I'm not really a fan of using it, of course, a lot, because then it would just get loose, and fixing a loose figure is way more difficult for me for some reason. So yeah, I had to apply some shock oil to have the tie swivel, yeah, better than being tight. And for some reason the left arm just yeah, disconnects. It really just disconnects, and that's the problem. Like I said before, with loose figures, they're harder to fix, more difficult to fix, because you can use glue or something else, whichever you have available for that. And for me here in Europe, it's pretty difficult to get any kind of substance that really fixes that, and I'm hesitant on using glue because I have used glue before on certain figures and I completely ruined them. So I'm not really going to do that with this one, and I really like it, that's why. On the other hand, yeah, replacing the hands on the wrist joints is a bit tricky, because they are super tight, and for some reason the holes inside of the hand accessories are super small, so inserting them into the pegs is difficult, but it's possible, of course. The last QC issue that I had was the changing of the head, because like I said before, placing this head on Goku, this hairstyle on Goku, is easy because it clicks just right in. However, using the regular hairstyle is for some reason very difficult. For some reason the peg hole inside of that head part is just super small. So you're just gonna have to force it in, or if you want to, you know, be more safe about it, you can heat it up or use some kind of shock oil maybe, and then yeah, you should be good. But those are the QC issues that I have with my copy. I'm sure that if you get yours, if you're planning on buying it, or if you already bought it, you might have different QC issues, or none at all, preferably. But yeah, those are the difficulties that I encountered with this particular copy. Okay, so in terms of articulation, yeah, you're pretty much getting the standard type of articulation that you're used to have in, you know, other 2.0 Gokus, or just Gi having characters. The arms move of this much forward, this much to the side, and then this much up. Of course, because of the hair being, yeah, right there, it's difficult. You can put them all the way up if you want, I believe, something like this. Yeah. Okay, well, you have this much bend in the arm. The wrist joint, they are great. You can rotate them 360 degrees, and of course you can bend them back like this. The back, you can get this much range, and forward about this much. And if you mod the torso, of course you have a lot more range, which is about this much, like this. And yeah, that's what you're getting for the upper torso part. This much in the legs, about this much up. You can also force them to go this far or even further if you want. Knee range is about this, ankle swivel like this, or even more. You can rotate it 360 degrees. Toe joint like this, alright, all the way down. And regarding the head, this much up, this much down. And yeah, it's pretty much what you're used to see in a 2.0 Goku. Okay, and so for the final accessory part that you get with this Demoniacal Fit release is the lower part of the Saiyan armor, and it looks really good. It looks really good on the Vegeta, and they really innovated Demoniacal Fit. They really did, because this isn't a hard plastic thing that they used. They used the some kind of really soft kind of plastic, and it really gives you like a lot of range, and it really isn't all that annoying when you try to use it. So as you can see here, I have his leg up, yeah, in this kind of position, and as you can see, it really doesn't hinder the accessory part all that much. It's really soft, and it doesn't. What surprised me more is that the paint that they use doesn't rub off on the figure at all, which is for most of you who collect action figures is like a relief, I believe. So yeah, it looks really good. So this is a part where we're swapping heads, and what I'm going to use is not the official release that Tamashii has done regarding the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, but here we got the Demoniacal Fit version. there really isn't that much of a difference from what I've seen online with these two versions. So you shouldn't really see it any difference at all. But yeah, it looks really good. The skin tone matches almost perfectly, and swapping the heads was actually no issue. It just seems that swapping with the normal Kaioken head that Demoniacal Fit provided is somewhat of a struggle. But you know, using this one turns out very perfectly. Okay, and for the last hat swap, we are here looking at the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken by Lefma. And yeah, of course, this is the best face weight you can pretty much get for Goku at the moment, in my opinion, right now. Besides, of course, the official Tamashi released one, which is like the early Saiyan saga, I believe. But however, this looks really good. I mean, the the people who did Lefma, or the people at Lefma, sorry, did an amazing job sculpting this particular head sculpt, and it just looks amazing. So yeah, that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and see you into the next one.